So we are now in an era of post-first combat in the Gundam card game, and it's time to start looking towards those all-important regional dates. And over in Japan, we have had the first big competitive event since First Combat that has taken place. So in this video, we are going to react and watch the final of the Tokyo A Finals. It's a really interesting event, a really cool opportunity to see what the guys over in the East are dealing with in their meta compared to us here over in the West, especially when we've had simultaneous release happening from day one. What were the decks that were doing well? What won? Well, we are about to find out. My name's Ben Fitzpatrick, I'm a TCG caster, and that means I just love talking about them. So let's do that right now. Before we go ahead and jump into today's video, if you do enjoy it, please feel free to drop a like rating on it. Subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already, like I know nearly 80% of people that watch my videos have not done. If you're coming back and look regular and you're enjoying the content, you might as well subscribe. It's completely free to do so, and it helps me out a ton with the support. While you're down there as well, be sure to drop a comment down below with what your reactions are to this first major competitive event post First Combat, and check out my link tree that is in the description of the video, where you can find me on other social platforms such as X and TikTok. Yes, that's right. The Japan Regionals Tokyo A venue is what we are going to be looking at, the finals of that very event, and is the first major competitive tournament that we have had pretty much anywhere in the world post First Combat. Obviously, a load of the regions had those First Combat events, and we are now getting into the road to the 25-26 World Championships. That road is going to begin for us in Europe next Sunday as well in Seville, Spain. So that's going to be a really cool one to keep an eye out for. But for now, we have got the Japan Regionals Tokyo A venue finals. And it looks like that we have got green-white here on the left, and we've got green-blue, the one-year war deck that is going on the right at the moment as well. We're going to jump straight into the game, and apologies if I make any mistakes or anything by like recognizing or misrecognizing cards or anything like that. I don't have the deck lists immediately to hand with me, so I'm just going predominantly off of memory and off of visual recognition here. So what we're seeing early on is nothing on first resource here for either player. A little bit unfortunate for the green-white player that he's not had access to overflowing affection on turn one, but we are going ahead and seeing the Zaku's coming out here, with one of them being that really nice Zaku too that gets the AP boost as soon as it goes ahead and attacks. So that Zaku 2 on the right hand side, furthest to the top of the screen, is able to clear the EX base straight away. So seeing that, the player on the left is going to use Hawk of Endymion here to bounce it back into his opponent's hand. Very heads up play there. One thing that is quite underutilized or underrepresented in the Gundam card game at the moment, I think, is that you not only get an action step at the battle step and at the battle phase, but you also get one at the end of your opponent's turn. So you get an opportunity to get a little bit of a reaction out of your opponent, or from what your opponent has gone ahead and presented. So nice work there from our green-white player. But unfortunately, nothing here on 3 resources. No Zawart or Lafrith blockers to speak of. We do have the, I think that's the Sword Strike Gundam. The one that can bounce stuff with, I think it's 2 AP or 2 HP back into hand, which is a real pain in the neck of a Gundam unit. Really strong in these more sort of white tempo builds at the moment. So 3 resources, we're seeing the one-year war player just play down the Zaku 2 once again. Makes a lot of sense. And going ahead and playing, what is that unit? Is that just a blocker here? It's a level 3/2 cost. I don't think I've seen this card much at the moment, I think it might just be a blocker at the moment here. Either that or potentially Breach would also make sense. We'll see when it attacks in, but it is a 3-3, so in and of itself, enough is fine to clear the EX base. So a couple of early threats for our one-year war player, and is looking pretty strong at this point in time. We've not seen anything on board from Green-White, which has been a little bit symptomatic of the builds of Green-White that we're seeing at the moment. Is here comes that aforementioned Strike Gundam, the Sword Strike, I believe this is called. 4-3, and then on attack when paired, I believe is the restriction here. And interesting, not willing to burn the EX resource to go ahead and make the link pair. We do have Kira Yamato's in hand, but it does mean that we lose that EX resource, and with White-Green even moving to this kind of more mid-rangey style of deck, relying on a few more blockers in the package, relying on stuff like Ale Strike Gundams, as well as this card here, the Sword Strike, you're starting to see that you're not getting that much ramp going on. So we've got Grandad Gundam, looks like has been drawn to hand here, or at least they're highlighting it, because I don't see it in the hand cam here. I definitely do see the Amaro. There are 2 Amaros in hand. Also do see the Anksha Gun Tank. I think that's the Chaz Gelgug, the legendary from the starter deck, and then Show of Resolve as well is there. So the Zaku 2 is going to go ahead and swing in with its AP boost. We're going to get the rest down of the Sword Strike with the Amaro pilot. Very, very nice. We're going to get the trade in. It is a breach unit, so it's going to breach through and take care of an Ale Strike Gundam. And then we're going to see the other one swing in. Another Sword Strike is going to go into the bin. And then paying 2 is going to be for that starter deck Legend Rare. This is some very, very good tempo that we've got going on here at the moment. This is a Zaku as well, I believe, as well. Beg your pardon. But this is just Chaz Zaku 2 here that's being played down. It's the when destroyed, look at top 3, grab a Zeon or Neo Zeon unit card from among them and take it into hand. But very, very strong start that we've got here from One Year War. I mean, with the Green-White player here playing Underground Desert Base to be able to go ahead and take a damage and put themselves a little bit more secure from the early aggression that's being put forward. They are at 3 shields remaining. So we're seeing now a pair being activated here using the EX resource for a 3-4 blocker. And it's just a 3-4 blocker, but we do have the Kira on it, which is a link pair, and on attack is going to go ahead and reduce the AP down of the paired Zaku 2, and the attack's going to be allowed through. So 2 damage onto the rested blocker here, just kind of going sort of pseudo-blocker in that kind of attack and exchange there in that fashion then. Like, you're going to be resting the unit to block with it anyway. You might as well preactively or proactively get the -2 AP effect from the Kira pilot. So I like the idea there of the link pair and swing from our Green-White player. But their hand does not look comfortable. It's 2 Hero Yui pilots, another Kira Yamato, the Freedom Gundam, and I think that's another one of these level 4 3-cost blockers that's also in the hand as well. So, not the strongest hand that we've got going on at the moment. Pretty pilot heavy. And One Year War here is going to go ahead and show some resolve to draw 2 cards. We drew into Gun Tank and Corsica base. This Corsica base, by the way, I've been seeing this pop up more and more and more recently in blue decks, favoring that over the white base, because you just unconditionally get the token without having to pay the extra resource for it, which I think is really, really interesting and nice. And of course, when it's in the bin, and if you play another Corsica base, you get the 2 1/1s. So definitely a very, very well-respected base in the format at the moment. This 6 HP is going to be a little bit of a struggle, though, for the One Year War player, because I think at the moment we've got representative 6 damage, so we can clear the base in 2 attacks here. How much HP is on that blocker? I think it's 3. So I don't think we're quite in the round. We're definitely not in the round now with resources available. But we can't just go ahead and go like Anxia double gun tank to take care of that link paired unit on the green-white side of the board. So, makes sense. We are just going to go with a 3 into base here. And then the remaining 3 from the Zaku 2 to just go ahead and clear it away. 1 for GM. Keep the pressure on. And then 1 more for gun tank. Okay, so we are just going to put gun tank down. Gets an extra damage pip onto the link paired blocker. Gets another piece of threat as well on the board. And where we are in a position where we are actually representing game on board, at the very least, if our opponent doesn't do anything about it. Now, obviously, we do have the unit still alive for us, so we are going to likely go ahead and swing that into, I'd say probably the 1-cost Zaku 2, using the AP reduction, so we're not going to take any damage. There's no open resources right now, so we don't have to worry about any kind of shenanigans, any kind of command step events at all. Or action step commands, I should say. We are at 5 resources here, though. Because we burned that EX resource last turn. I think we drew into Perfect Strike, which isn't bad. Again, potentially could set our opponent back a little bit. Because I think it's a 2 HP that Perfect Strike boosts back. So we could bounce back either the GM or the gun tank. Probably the GM, because it's got the less impactful deploy effect to happen. Swing does go into the Zaku 2, which makes sense. There is Perfect Strike. Here comes Kira Yamato. And we're going to go ahead and... Are we going to swing with it? Or are we going to just hold it back for it to be the big bulky blocker? No, we are going to go ahead and swing. And it's going to be bouncy back. No, it's going to be... Okay, so it's going to be swinging into the Zaku, the Chaz Zaku 2 here. Give our opponent the search. Find another one. Okay, that's crazy value. And then remaining cards have to go back randomly to the bottom of the deck. Does leave a resource open here to at least threaten another Hawk of Endymion or something like Unforeseen Incident as well that green-white is holding up with resources here. But that's a very low to the ground hand, which is exactly what you want from 1 Year War. It's just a load of little cheap units that we can go for here. There goes a wing out of the shields. That's very, very nice. Especially when we go up to level 6 next phase. Ale Strike gone as well, so that's 2 of those down. I think you just load up the plate here. You just get a load of active units onto the board. Even there's an argument to just pop your own EX base at this point and play the Corsica. We are going to Anxia. Deal 1 damage onto the rested link pair. Then gun tank as well to clear the way. Very, very nice. And then, yeah, just, as I said, just load up the plate. Get the Chaz Zaku 2 and the Zaku 2 as well. And just fill up the battle area completely and say, okay, how on earth are you going to deal with this? Now only here, when our opponent is absolutely threatening game, do we find an overflowing affection to be able to try and get some resources going. But even at this point, we'd have 5 resources left after that. So the best we could maybe ask for is just like a load of blockers here. We are going to overflowing. Drawing 2. What do we find? Oh, no. Another Hero Yui pilot. And I think that's a Justice Gundam that we found as well as the remaining card. That's not going to help in this situation. Trash a hero away because we don't need 3 of them when we don't have any link pairs going on. Oh, this has been so overwhelming here for green-white. And this is one of the biggest downfall decks against green-white is green-blue 1 year war, because it is just so aggressive. It's so low to the ground, and if you don't have that EX resource, you don't have that ramp package to be able to get you into Wing and Link pair, Death Scythe and Link pair to help you out a little bit, and then get to Wing Gundam Zero, you are just screwed. You are just in the hurt locker. I mean, look at this board state right now. Even with the Perfect Strike having swung in and taking care of a rested unit here, and barely taken any damage, there's still 5 units on the board. One of them's going to get blocked by this paired 3-cost blocker unit. Green-blue hasn't taken a single piece of damage. Oh, we find Char as a Enable as well for the Legend Rare. So, swing in. It's going to have high maneuver for the attack. There is the second Wing Gundam. And then we're going to pair Amuro Ray, rest the remaining blocker. If that one resource is a bluff, which we know it is, attack is going to go through. And green-blue 1 year war is going to win the Japan Regionals in the Tokyo A venue. Wow. I mean, that is exactly the kind of matchup and result that you would want to draw up when you're going against one of the strongest decks in the format right now in green-white. I do have to say I'm not 100% sure if I agree with that build of green-white. And I know that the blockers style, the more mid-rangey style package of green-white has become more popular as we near the end of the GD01 meta. But I'm still of a very strong opinion that I think that you should value, especially the bird mode. The Wing Gundam bird mode is just such great value to help set up your mid to late game when you're running into those wings, the Death Scythes, and importantly, for this matchup in particular, just trying to aggro ramp into the Wing Gundam Zero. It means that you've got an early enough body on the board that is link pairable as well with Hero Yui if you really want to clear a big enough unit or deal with a unit on that turn that the Wing Gundam bird mode has been played. It gets you the EX resource, or an EX resource, which is even better if you're going second, because you get double the EX resource than if you haven't already burned it. But yeah, I'm still not 100% sure on the blockers matters thing. It's getting results. It's definitely doing respectively right now, but I feel like that the bird mode just generates so much value, and so many of the decks as well aren't running the path to victory or defeat, which is, I think, inarguably the best searcher in the game right now, because it searches 2 types of card, Operation Meteor and G-Team, and it searches for units and pilot cards as well. It's one of the only cards, if not the only card right now in the game that searches out pilots. And you've seen so many times in the limited amount of search that we've got in Gundam card game right now, which is being expanded in GD02 and the like, but at least right now, pilot searching is just so invaluable, and searching in general is just so invaluable in the game and in any game that Bandai have created. So yeah, as it stands right now, at the very least, that's kind of where we're at. We'll have to see how that format and how that continues to develop, especially going into the European Gundam card game offline regionals, which is being held next Sunday at the time that this video is recorded and goes live. So keep an eye out for that, and if there's any information about a broadcast or anything like that, as soon as there is information, I'll be sure to let people know and update people either via a video that gets created regarding something else Gundam, or on my socials as well. I'll post the link out or anything like that. So there you have it, 1 year war, showing that it is a very capable aggro deck in the first event, in the first regionals in the Gundam card game worldwide. So now it's over to you. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Are you playing this Green Blue 1 Year War deck at the moment, or are you not? And what are some of the ways that you are combating it in your local scene at the moment? If you did enjoy this video as well, please feel free to go ahead and drop a like rating on it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more Gundam card game and other TCG related content. But until the next one, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Goodbye for now.